Hello and welcome back to day 9 of Staying in Shape Fencing Footwork. As you can see, again, we are blessed. The sun is shining. I love when the sun is shining. It's nice and warm. Maestro Baron is here as well, just to make sure he's supervising and everything is going according to plan. So, what are we going to be doing today? Today, what we're going to be looking at are 2 pieces of fencing footwork that we haven't covered so far. One of them is the jump back. Another one is when we lunge, instead of recovering back, we recover forward. So, in the bigger scheme of things, the footwork that we've been doing, we have done our normal step. So step forward, step back. We've done a balestra step. We've done a pass step. So these are the basic steps in which we have done. Now, what I want to show you today is something called a jump back. Now, a jump back is when you literally are countering. Someone's attacking you and you want to create distance, but a step is probably going to be too slow. So you're literally going to jump back and at the same time counter with your sword arm. So it looks like this. So you literally jump back, but both feet land on the ground at the same time. Again. Now, some of you might say, well, how is that different to the balestra? Well, it is completely different. The balestra is where you kick your front foot, and the idea of kicking your front foot is it gets a reaction from your opponent. So your opponent fixates their view for a split second on your front foot. Bang, bang. Yeah, so they're hypnotized by your front foot. A jump, both feet land on the ground at the same time and you're countering. So that's the difference between the two. So we've got a jump back. This is something you use not very often. It's used more for tactical reasons. Being that if you're quite near to the back line, you might not want to take a step. Okay, making sure that you've got enough distance to be able to jump and land within the back line. So the jump back is used for tactical reasons. The idea being you may be a couple of steps, let's say 3 steps away from the back line, and your opponent is used to seeing you taking a step back. So now what you might want to do is to draw them in. They are anticipating you are going to take 1 step back, yeah, because you've normally been taking 1 step back. So now you want to draw them in. So instead of taking a step back, now you're going to jump back, but at the same time, you are going to counter. The idea being you're going to anticipate that they're going to be moving forward, so your counter is going to hit as you are moving back. So the idea being, so it gives the impression that I'm going to take a step when in reality I'm jumping and I'm increasing the distance. So this is why we use a jump back. The other thing I want to talk about is our lunges. So far we've looked at different types of lunges. We've looked at the explosive lunge, bang, 1 speed, really fast. We've looked at the accelerated lunge, where you start slowly and then you put the speed at the end. And then we looked at the sliding lunge, where you anchor your back foot, raise the heel slightly, and as you power forward, you drag, too much power, you drag. Let's do this properly. Okay, so lift your heel slightly, extend, and drag your back foot. Okay, that was a sliding lunge. Now, usually you have been taught, and correctly so, that when somebody lunges, okay, they're at their most vulnerable as they are recovering. So as I lunge, I am at my weakest, my most vulnerable, as I collapse the back leg and push off from the front leg. That's when I'm at my weakest. Okay, it only takes a split second. At that point is when you should be starting your attack, your counter attack. In that small window, as I lunge, the attack fails. As I recover, my sword arm naturally is coming back. The back leg is collapsing. My toe comes off the ground. I'm going to push off my heel to come back to the en garde position. You've been taught that the opportune time to attack is when that happens. And that is absolutely correct. What I want to show you today is from a tactical position. Periodically, you need to be recovering forward, not backwards. So the idea being, when I lunge, instead of recovering back and giving up this ground, I lunge and now I recover forward. So tactically, I've now moved forward. So if my opponent is starting their attack, I'm now shortening the distance, and I'm in a position where I've shortened the distance and I may be able to get a double hit or a parry and riposte. So let's put that into practice. So the idea is, I lunge, okay? Now if Laura was fencing me, at the point she starts to see me collapse, that's when her attack is going to start to commence, okay? So by the time I get back on guard, whoa, what's happening? Okay, she is now encroached on the distance really quickly. Okay, like that. Okay, and that reaction I made is usually what happens to us. We make that reaction, arm is open, bang. Now, if I do the same thing, but instead of going backwards, I now come forwards. Okay, so I've now lunged and I recover forward. I'm now in a better situation that if she goes back, I can continue. Okay, so I can continue with a step, I can continue with a balestra step, pass step. I'm now starting to push my opponent back because of the close proximity to where I started. And now, as right on cue, Baron's coming just to make sure he's inspecting the footwork, he's inspecting the distance. Yeah. Is everything okay, Maestro? Everything seems to be okay. Okay, so again, I lunge and now I recover forward. Okay, so what I want you to practice is the jump back and practice lunging but recovering forward as opposed to recovering back. And I'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.